Aging is a journey we all embark on, but the path beyond 80 often feels shrouded in mystery. Many older adults who were vibrant, sharp, and full of energy in their 70s begin to fade physically, mentally, or emotionally as they cross this milestone. Society tends to attribute this decline to genetics or luck, assuming it's an inevitable part of growing old. However, the truth is far more complex. While genes and chance play a role, there are subtler, often ignored factors that quietly erode vitality in the later years. These aren't the obvious culprits like poor diet, smoking, or lack of exercise. Instead, they're hidden shifts in daily life that accumulate over time, even in those who've lived thoughtfully and healthily. In this exploration, we'll uncover 5 unexpected reasons why many older adults struggle to thrive past 80 reasons that are rarely discussed, but profoundly impact longevity. These factors are not about sudden health crises, but about gradual, often unnoticed changes that chip away at your spark. The good news. Once you recognize these culprits, you can take practical steps to address them. Whether you're approaching your later years, supporting a loved one, or simply curious about aging, well, these insights can transform how you navigate life after 80. By understanding and acting on these factors, you can protect your health, sharpen your mind, and preserve your sense of purpose. Let's dive into these 5 hidden reasons and discover how to safeguard your vitality before it's too late. 1. The quiet erosion of microsocial connections. One of the most underappreciated reasons why many older adults don't thrive past 80 is the gradual loss of what researchers call microsocial connections. These are not the deep, enduring bonds with family or close friends, though those remain essential. Instead, microsocial connections are the fleeting, everyday interactions that fill your day without much fanfare. Think of the quick wave to a neighbor walking their dog, the brief chat with a barista at your local cafe, or the nod to a familiar face at the grocery store. These moments may seem trivial, but they're a vital thread in the fabric of your daily life, weaving a sense of belonging and purpose. These small interactions do more than pass the time. Neurologically, they stimulate the brain's social circuits, triggering the release of hormones like oxytocin and dopamine, which elevate mood and reduce stress. They also regulate the nervous system, fostering a sense of connection that keeps you grounded in the world. For instance, a simple good morning to a delivery person or a smile exchange with a stranger can reinforce your place in the community, subtly affirming that you're seen and valued. These moments act like tiny pulses of energy, keeping your mind sharp and your spirit engaged. After 80, however, these interactions often fade. Physical limitations such as reduced mobility or hearing loss can make casual conversations feel challenging. Modern conveniences like online shopping or grocery delivery reduce the need to leave the house, cutting out trips to the store or post office. Harsh weather, unsteady balance, or even a lack of confidence can keep older adults indoors, away from the small social moments that once punctuated their days. Over time, this retreat becomes a habit, and the absence of these micro connections creates a void that's hard to pinpoint but deeply felt. The impact is not just emotional, it's biological. Loneliness, even in its subtle forms, acts as a chronic stressor. Research shows that social isolation increases cortisol levels, triggers inflammation, and weakens the immune system. In the brain, it can shrink neural networks responsible for memory, attention, and emotional regulation, accelerating cognitive decline. This loss of micro-social engagement makes you feel older, faster, dimming your mental clarity and physical vitality in ways you may not notice until they're entrenched. I once met an 83-year-old named Margaret who exemplified the power of these small connections. Despite arthritis and a modest income, she remained vibrant well into her 80s. Her secret: every morning she walked to her local bakery, greeted the staff by name, and exchanged pleasantries with other regulars. Those brief moments weren't just a routine, they were her lifeline. They gave her day structure, kept her mind engaged, and reminded her she was part of her community. When a harsh winter kept her indoors for weeks, she noticed her mood dipping and her energy waning. Recognizing the change, she resumed her walks even on tough days, and her spark returned. To counter this loss, start small. If you've been staying indoors more or avoiding casual interactions, make a point to reconnect. Wave to a neighbor from your porch, strike up a short conversation with a store clerk, or sit outside and say hello to passersby. These moments don't need to be profound. they just need to happen. If mobility or hearing challenges make this harder, consider low-effort alternatives, call a friend, join a local group, or even chat with someone online. The goal is to keep your social wiring active, telling your brain and body that you're still here, still connected, and still vital. These tiny threads of connection are a powerful antidote to the slow fade of aging, helping you stay engaged with the world around you. 2. Overcautious inactivity. When fear outweighs action. Another hidden factor that undermines vitality after 80 is overcautious inactivity. It often begins with a moment of fear, a stumble on a sidewalk, a near fall on the stairs, or a twinge of pain in a joint. Suddenly, you start avoiding certain movements, no more bending to reach low shelves, no more walks on uneven paths, no more climbing into the backseat of a car. Loved ones may encourage this caution, saying, "Don't push yourself or take it easy." On the surface, it seems like wisdom after all. Avoiding risks feels like the responsible choice. But there's a fine line between being careful and becoming overly cautious, and crossing it can set off a cascade of decline that's hard to reverse. The human body thrives on movement. Unlike a machine that conserves energy by resting, your muscles, joints, and nervous system need regular activity to stay functional. Movement maintains strength, sharpens coordination, and supports balance. When you stop moving, whether out of fear or habit, your body doesn't just pause, it weakens. This is especially true for the core muscles in your torso, which stabilize your body during everyday tasks like standing, walking, or getting out of a chair. Studies show that even a few weeks of reduced activity can lead to muscle atrophy, diminished balance, and a higher risk of falls, creating a vicious cycle of frailty that feeds on itself. Consider the story of Thomas, an 81-year-old who loved his evening strolls through his neighborhood park. After a minor slip on a wet pathway, he decided to stay indoors, more trading his walks for hours in his armchair watching television. Within 6 months, he lost significant muscle mass. His legs felt unsteady, and simple tasks like getting up from a chair became daunting. His doctor warned that his inactivity was accelerating his decline, but the damage had already begun. Thomas's story isn't unique. He didn't weaken because he was old. He weakened because he stopped moving. His caution, meant to protect him, ended up eroding his strength and confidence. This doesn't mean ignoring real risks. Smart precautions are essential use. Handrails, wear sturdy shoes. Clear clutter from walkways, or use a cane if needed. But there's a critical difference between managing risk and surrendering to fear. When caution dictates your life, your body forgets how to function. Muscles waste away, joints stiffen, and confidence erodes, making even small movements feel risky. Over time, this inactivity impacts not just your body, but your brain, reducing cognitive sharpness and emotional resilience. The brain relies on physical activity to stimulate blood flow and neuroplasticity, keeping memory and focus intact. To break this cycle, start with small, deliberate movements. Take a short walk around your home or garden, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Practice standing up and sitting down to strengthen your legs. Stretch gently each morning to keep your joints flexible. If mobility is a challenge, try seated exercises or work with a physical therapist to build confidence. The key is consistency, regular movement, even if slow, or careful signals to your body that it's still needed. It keeps your systems active, your mind alert, and your heart engaged. Aging well isn't about reckless abandon. It's about moving thoughtfully, consistently, and with purpose, ensuring your body remains a partner in your journey. If this resonates with you, let me know by commenting number 2 below. If you're finding these insights valuable, consider subscribing and turning on notifications to stay updated on content that can inform and inspire your journey. 3. Disrupted sleep from irregular light exposure. Your body operates on an internal clock known as the circadian rhythm, which governs everything from your mood to your metabolism, immune function, and brain repair. After 80, this clock becomes more fragile, and one of the biggest disruptors is irregular light exposure. Too little natural light during the day and too much artificial light at night. This subtle shift can throw your entire system out of balance, affecting not just your sleep, but your overall health and vitality. Morning sunlight is a powerful signal to your brain, triggering wakefulness, boosting energy, and sharpening focus. It sets the tone for your day, aligning your body's systems for optimal function. Evening darkness, on the other hand, cues the release of melatonin, a hormone that prepares your body for deep restorative sleep. But modern habits often disrupt this rhythm. Spending most of your day indoors, napping in bright afternoon light, or skipping outdoor time can deprive your body of the natural light it needs to stay in sync. At night, artificial light from screens, lamps, or even streetlights can trick your brain into staying alert, delaying sleep, and reducing its quality. The consequences are far-reaching. Poor sleep doesn't just leave you tired, it impairs memory, destabilizes mood, and weakens immunity. Research links disrupted circadian rhythms to higher risks of cognitive decline, depression, and even chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. Additionally, sunlight exposure is critical for vitamin D production, which supports bone health, muscle strength, and immune function. After 80, your skin's ability to produce vitamin D declines, making regular outdoor time even more essential to prevent deficiencies that can lead to frailty or illness. Take the example of Elizabeth, an 86-year-old who felt increasingly fatigued and disoriented. Her diet and medications were unchanged, and her blood work showed no major issues. Her doctor noticed she rarely left her apartment and kept her television on late into the evening. He suggested a simple fix: 20 minutes of morning sunlight, sitting by an open window or on her balcony, and turning off screens an hour before bed. Within 2 weeks, Elizabeth's sleep deepened. Her energy returned and her mental fog lifted. The solution wasn't a new drug, it was light, a natural regulator of her body's rhythms. To restore your circadian rhythm, prioritize morning sunlight. Step outside for a brief walk, sip coffee on your porch, or sit by an open window within an hour of waking. Even cloudy days provide enough natural light to make a difference. In the evening, dim indoor lights and avoid screens to signal rest. If mobility limits outdoor time, consider a light therapy lamp designed for circadian health, which can mimic natural sunlight. These small adjustments can realign your body's clock, boosting energy, mood, and overall health, helping you stay sharp and vibrant well into your 80s. 4. Unprocessed grief and emotional suppression. By the time you reach your 80s, life has likely brought profound losses: a spouse, a sibling, a lifelong friend, or even a child. These losses leave deep marks not just on your heart, but on your body. Yet many older adults suppress their grief, believing they should be over it or that expressing pain is a sign of weakness. This emotional suppression is a silent thief, draining vitality in ways that are often invisible until they manifest as physical or mental decline. Unprocessed grief doesn't vanish, it lingers in the body. It raises stress hormones like cortisol, disrupts sleep, and weakens the immune system. Studies show that chronic emotional suppression can contribute to physical symptoms like fatigue, digestive issues, and even heart problems. It also dims your emotional spark, making you feel disconnected or less like yourself. The body carries this weight even if you appear calm or insist you're fine. Over time, this buried pain can erode your resilience, making it harder to bounce back from life's challenges. I remember David, an 85-year-old who lost his wife of 55 years. He rarely spoke about his grief, saying it wasn't his way. He put on a brave face, but within a year he'd lost weight, stopped attending his weekly chess club, and struggled with insomnia. His decline wasn't due to illness, but to the sorrow he'd buried. When he began sharing his feelings with a close friend, his health stabilized and his energy returned. His body had been carrying the weight of unexpressed pain, and letting it out allowed him to heal. Emotional expression is a cornerstone of longevity. People who thrive past 80 often have outlets for their feelings, whether it's talking to a trusted friend, writing in a journal, or finding solace in faith or community. These acts of release allow the heart to breathe, supporting both physical and mental health. If you're holding on to unvoiced pain, make space for it. Join a support group, share your story with a loved one, or try creative outlets like writing, painting, or music. Processing grief isn't just about feeling better, it's about staying alive, ensuring your heart and body remain resilient. If this speaks to you, comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. Subscribing and enabling notifications ensures you don't miss future insights to support your journey. 5. The gradual loss of daily purpose. Perhaps the most profound yet subtle reason many fade after 80 is the erosion of daily purpose. This isn't about grand life missions or lofty goals, but the small, meaningful routines that give your day structure and meaning. Watering a garden, feeding a pet, writing a letter to a grandchild, or fixing a loose doorknob? These simple acts anchor you, providing a reason to get up and engage with the world. As you age, these routines can slip away. Social groups may dissolve, family visits may dwindle, or physical limitations may end cherished activities. Without these anchors, days lose their shape, blending into a monotonous blur. This lack of purpose sends a subtle signal to your body that it's no longer needed. Appetite fades, energy wanes, and health declines, not from disease, but from a lack of reason to keep going. The body listens to the mind, and when the mind sees no purpose, the body follows, slowing its repair and maintenance processes. Consider Ruth, an 88-year-old who radiated vitality despite modest means and health challenges. Her secret: a collection of small routines, tending her herb garden, calling her niece every Sunday, and volunteering at a local library. These tasks gave her days texture and meaning, keeping her mind sharp and her heart engaged. When you have a reason to rise, your body responds, repairing cells, sustaining energy, and maintaining function. Purpose, no matter how small, is like fuel for longevity. If your days feel shapeless, start small. Plant a flower, write a note, help a neighbor, or start a simple ritual like a morning coffee on the porch. These acts remind your body and mind that you're still needed, still relevant, still alive. Consistency matters more than scale. What keeps you going is the rhythm of purpose, not its grandeur. Final thoughts. Fading after 80 isn't inevitable. It's often the result of subtle, gradual shifts, lost micro-social connections, reduced movement, disrupted rhythms, unprocessed emotions, and fading purpose. These factors are quiet but powerful, eroding vitality in ways that are easy to miss. The good news: you can counter them with small, intentional changes. Reflect on these 5 reasons. Which one surprised you? Which feels familiar? Most importantly, what small step can you take today to reclaim your vitality? Aging well isn't about stopping time. It's about living fully within it, with connection, movement, rhythm, emotion, and purpose. Share your thoughts below. What did you learn, and how will you apply it? Your comments inspire us to keep creating content that informs and uplifts. Like, subscribe, and share to support more insights like these. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you next time.